Hare. Everyone, very loud. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time, everybody, please, a little louder. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shishi Gornitai ki jai, Sisi Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Jagya ki jai, Jai Nitai Go Premanandi Hari Hari Bo, Jai Nitai Go Premanandi Hari Hari Bo.
Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Hare Krishna, welcome to our Sunday program. Herzlich willkommen zum Sonntagsfest. Gibt es jemanden, der kein Englisch versteht? Okay, we're going to speak in English today. I think we have some Russian translation for those of you who need. Someone is going to distribute the earplugs, so you can listen to the class, which is going to happen now. And we are very fortunate to have with us His Grace Akincana Krishna Prabhu. Haribol! Please, Prabhu, if you'd like to take a seat. Also, I'd like to ask, is anyone here for the first time? Wow, many. Welcome. Very nice to have you. I'm not sure how you came. Maybe we can speak after the program. So this was the kirtan. You must know, you have experienced, and now we have a lecture, so a small talk about the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, and this will go till 5 o'clock. And it's nice to see also many devotees coming from far away, from Ticino. We have devotees, and I think from other places as well. So Hare Krishna to all of you. Thank you for coming. Just a brief introduction about Akincana Krishna Prabhu. Akincana Krishna Prabhu is from the US, and he has joined Krishna consciousness movement. Actually, I didn't get the bio, but end of 90s, 30 years. So Akincana Krishna Prabhu is practicing Krishna consciousness for the last 30 years. And he's well known in our movement for his kirtans, and you've just experienced, so he's traveling all over the world, sharing kirtan with others. But he's also a very a nice speaker. He presents the philosophy of Krishna consciousness nicely. And today he speaks about the topic, living for Krishna is the greatest meditation. So thank you, Prabhu, for taking the time. And please, you can all move a little closer, so we can use the space nicely. And you check.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Janabala Girivardhari. Gopi Janabala Girivardhari. Jasodanandana Prajajanuranjana. Jasodanandana Prajajanuranjana. Jamunatira Panachari. Jamunatira Panachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Janabala Girivardhari. Gopi Janabala Girivardhari. Jasodanandana Brajajanuranjana. Jasodanandana Brajajanuranjana. Jamunatira Vanachari. Jamunatira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo. Jai Nitai Go Premanandi Hari Haribo. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Jagya Ki Jai. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Today we will read from the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Today we will look at chapter 8, which is entitled Attaining the Supreme. And we will read text and commentary of verse number 7. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmarad yudhyacha mayarpita manobuddhir mame vaishyasya samshayaha. Should we chant responsibly? I don't think it's possible. Yeah. So this is the translation. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. This instruction to Arjuna is very important for all men engaged in material activities. The Lord does not say that one should give up his prescribed duties or engagements. One can continue them and at the same time think of Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna. This will free one from material contamination and engage the mind and intelligence in Krishna. By chanting Krishna's names, one will be transferred to the supreme planet, Krishna Loka, without a doubt. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshulam Militam Yenam Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Bandeham Sri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I'll read the verse again. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. So this verse of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is explaining to Arjuna how to become the topmost yogi. And it's not exactly what you might think, because it's not just an external show of what it means to be a yogi. Arjuna is a warrior engaged in a very, very difficult position. He's a warrior and he's had a clash with his cousins. And the nature of the war in the epic of the Mahabharata is that he's positioned in such a way that his own family, his own teacher, his highly respected grandfather, even his own elder brother is on the opposing side of the battle. And Arjuna kind of loses his way and tells Krishna that he's bewildered about his duty and isn't really sure if he wants to fight. The brilliance of Bhagavad Gita is that Arjuna is in such a trying, difficult circumstance. It's difficult to communicate in just a few words the whole drama and dynamic of the Mahabharata that has led to this war. But basically, at the end of Krishna's instructions in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna decides to continue on with fighting, but he does so as a fully enlightened person because he has heard the transcendental knowledge that has been given by Lord Krishna. And what's so powerful about the Bhagavad Gita is that it gives very practical advice on how each and every one of us, no matter what condition of life, no matter where we are, no matter what our duty in the world is to family, to society, maybe some of us, are getting an education, or we're working, or whatever our duties may be. Krishna is giving a formula whereby any one of us, from any condition, can become a topmost yogi. We can also follow in the footsteps of Arjuna and act in the world as a fully enlightened person. And the advice that Krishna is giving here is a most essential aspect of what that's all about. He's telling Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. Ultimately, spiritual life will come down to the quality of our minds, the quality of our consciousness. What kind of thoughts are we thinking? What kind of information, literature, media, music are we taking in? And what kind of quality of mind are we experiencing as a result? You know, they say, you are what you eat. If someone will eat healthy, nourishing foods, then they can hope to have a healthier state of body. And if one will neglect that and eat unhealthy things, one may face some health challenges from behaving like that. So similarly, it's very important what we hear. You can say, you are what you hear. Because what you hear is going to determine how you think. And there's all kinds of energy in the world. You know, it's like you sign onto the internet or you turn on the TV. There's just like a limitless variety of all kinds of energy you can choose to interact with, whether that's very positive or very negative. If you want to get upset and depressed about something, there's an infinite variety of things you can get upset and depressed about. And if you want to engage with something positive, nourishing, uplifting, there's also infinite potential for that. And we all have to make that choice. What's valuable to us? What kind of consciousness do we want to have? What kind of person do we want to be, for the benefit of others? Someone who will have kind of a lower, more negative vibration. What kind of person are they going to be with the people that they're around? Or alternatively, if someone will make the effort to nourish themselves with positive spiritual vibrations, positive spiritual sounds, ideas, music, then what's the quality that they can have to share with others? So Krishna is recommending to Arjuna, always think of me in the form of Krishna, so that you'll be able to have the highest type of consciousness, the most positive, the most spiritually vibrant kind of consciousness. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without a doubt. So again, this is practical for everyone. The process of thinking of Krishna, remembering Krishna, it can be as simple as just remembering, like our Hare Krishna mantra that we're chanting. The whole idea of a mantra is, the word mantra is devised, it's composed of two words, manas, which means mind, and trayate, which means to deliver. So a mantra is a tool by which one can deliver the mind. The mantra is a very short, simple phrase and within the mantra is a spiritual vibration. Like in our Hare Krishna mantra, by remembering the Hare Krishna mantra, we can easily remember Krishna anytime, anywhere, in any condition. Whether you're chanting on your beads or whether you're singing something softly to yourself, or even, maybe you're in a certain social circumstance and you don't really want to show off your spiritual activities, you can even just chant in your mind. The mantra gives that facility. We can remember the form of Krishna. Here we have our deities of Shri Shri Gaurnitai, Sri Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. Sometimes very popular, people take a picture, post on social media, something like that. And that's nice. But we can use our God-given technologies also, our eyes, our minds. Can we take a picture of the deities with our minds? Can we remember what is the form of Gaurnitai? How are they dressed today? How have they been decorated? What kind of turbans are they wearing? What kind of jewelry are they wearing? What kind of garlands are they wearing? How are they formed with their arms raised, dancing? Similarly, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. We can take pictures of these forms of the Lord, and even in the privacy of our thoughts, we can try to remember those images, those forms. And in that way, come to the position of being a topmost yogi. And another point to mention. I was looking at some beautiful verses in my own personal spiritual life. I found it to be very nourishing, very helpful to try to recite and memorize prayers, especially the prayers of great devotees, so that we can always be cultivating like a mood of devotion and surrender. And I found these nice verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita Listen to this because it's really good. One is immediately freed from the clutches of Maya if he seriously and sincerely says, "My dear Lord Krishna, although I have forgotten you for so many long years in the material world, today I am surrendering unto you. I am your sincere and serious servant. Please engage me in your service." So let's recite that together. My dear Lord Krishna, although I have forgotten you for so many long years in the material world, today I am surrendering unto you. I am your sincere and serious servant. Please engage me in your service. One more time. My dear Lord Krishna, although I have forgotten you for so many long years in the material world, today I am surrendering unto you. I am your sincere and serious servant. Please engage me in your service. What a beautiful, simple, sublime prayer to remember, to meditate on. If we'll go about our day, go about our duties, our work, remembering such a prayer, how will that powerfully impact our consciousness? Krishna says, "It is my vow that if one only once seriously surrenders unto me, saying, 'My dear Lord, from this day I am yours,' and prays to me for courage, I shall immediately award courage to that person, and he will always remain safe from that time on." So let's say it. My dear Lord, from this day I am you. From this day I am yours. My dear Lord, from this day I am yours. Okay, one more time, but we'll really try to feel it. My dear Lord, from this day I am yours. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This type of meditation can be cultivated. One of my favorite prayers from Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he expands on this idea of surrendering to the Lord. He writes like this in one of his famous devotional poems, in Bengali, Manasa Deho Geho, but I'll just read the English. He prays like this: mind, body, and family, whatever may be mine, I have surrendered at your lotus feet, O youthful son of Nanda. Let's say that one together too. Mind, body, and family, whatever may be mine, I have surrendered at your lotus feet, O youthful son of Nanda. Very powerful. The second verse, I'll just read it first myself. In good fortune or in bad, in life or at death, all my difficulties have disappeared by choosing those feet of yours as my only shelter. In good fortune or in bad, in life or at death, all my difficulties have disappeared by choosing those feet of yours as my only shelter. In our class this morning, we're talking about the Atmaram verse, which is a discussion about a self-satisfied person. And so the devotee can be the most self-satisfied person because he's completely surrendered himself to the Lord. And so look at this kind of consciousness in good fortune or in bad. Everyone has to experience some good fortune and some bad fortune. In life or at death, everyone who is born has to die. All of my difficulties have disappeared by choosing those feet of yours as my only shelter. Wouldn't that be wonderful to have no difficulties? Not because you don't experience some trouble. Like Arjuna is also experiencing a very trying time, but he doesn't have the same difficulty because he's just, instead of acting for himself, he's acting as a surrendered servant of the Lord. And so the trouble belongs to the Lord. If the master will ask the servant for a certain type of service, then it's not really the servant's headache anymore. The servant can just do their duty, but whether things go well or things don't go well, whether there's success or there's failure, whether there's good fortune or bad fortune, that's my master's issue, not mine. So in that way, all of our difficulties will disappear by taking shelter of the Lord. Bhaktivinoda Thakur goes on, slay me or protect me as you wish, for you are the master of your eternal servant. Same idea, but even more dramatic. Slay me or protect me as you wish, for you are the master of your eternal servant. If it is your will that I be born again, then may it be in the home of your devotee. If we have the association of devotees, even if we're able to live with devotees, then what a favorable circumstance that is for remembering Krishna and doing devotional service. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is not even praying for any kind of liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Even if I have to continue on in this difficult cycle of birth and death, that's all right. Let me be in the company of devotees so that I can continue to remember the Lord and I can continue to serve the Lord. May I be born again, even as a worm, so long as I may remain your devotee. I have no desire to be born as a Brahma, averse to you. Anyway, this is the profundity of devotional poetry. So who is Brahma? Brahma is the creator of the universe. In other words, the most powerful being, the person that's in charge of creating all of the heavens and all of the hells and the earthly sphere and everything that we see in this world, desirable or undesirable. Brahma is creating that. When Bhaktivinoda says, I have no desire to have the position of Brahma, the creator of the universe, if in that position I will have any sense of aversion to the Lord. Better I have a devotional heart, even if I have to take birth as a worm, a very, very difficult, unfortunate birth. Better I be a worm that's a devotee than a Brahma that has some aversion to the Lord. Is it clear? I yearn for the company of that devotee who is completely devoid of all desire for worldly enjoyment or liberation. So, devotion, pure devotion, means that there's no ulterior motives involved. There's no kind of business transaction with the Lord. Some people are praying to the Lord for some profit, for some benefit, or maybe someone is praying to the Lord to be relieved of the misery of material existence. But pure devotional service is beyond all of those kinds of transactional dealings. Pure devotion is only concerned with serving the Lord in a spirit of love and devotion. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that he hopes to be able to have the association of a devotee with that standard of purity, that they have no interest in any kind of worldly enjoyment. The whole world is moving on the desire for worldly enjoyment. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur is hoping to have the company of devotees that have no interest in that, and even not interested in liberation from the material existence. Father, mother, lover, son, Lord, preceptor, and husband, you are everything to me. Thakur Bhaktivinoda says, O Kana, please hear me, O Lord of Radha, you are the Lord of my life. So this kind of very powerful, very profound devotional expression written by such an exalted, pure personality like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, these kinds of prayers are a very powerful, wonderful shelter for us, and we can take advantage of this by being absorbed in this kind of subject matter. You know, what is pure devotional service all about? How can I surrender? How can I give up things that are unfavorable for devotional service, accept things that are favorable for devotional service? This kind of thinking, this kind of mentality, this will be most favorable for us for attaining the position of yoga, of bhakti yoga, that Sri Krishna is advising to Arjuna. I'll read the verse one more time. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. Any comments or questions? Oh, Manu Prabhu.
I was just pointing to Manu.
Oh, okay. I was to say something.
Hare Krishna. The verse you read from the 8th chapter reminds me on chapter 12, where Krishna is saying, always remember me, I think the first instruction. And then Arjuna then Prabhupada is saying, when you're not able to do this, then you do that, and then you do that. So for me, it sounds very difficult to remember Krishna in my daily life, to think of him, to remember even the holy name when I following my duties. So how can I come to this stage to remember Krishna in my daily life? I never can remember him.
Yeah, that was advised in the purport. Well, the simplest way to always remember Krishna is to take advantage of our mantra, which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Therefore, to cultivate spiritual advice, to cultivate spiritual life, our advice is that everybody should take up some sadhana. Sadhana means some regular spiritual practice. Especially, we're advising everybody to take up the practice of regularly chanting the Hare Krishna mantra a fixed number of times on a daily basis, because by that type of practice, we can cultivate remembrance of Krishna, we can practice remembering Krishna, and hope to improve ourselves to the point where we can continually remember Krishna. So we may have some period of time in the morning of dedicated, focused practice. That's very, very favorable. Have some spiritual activity, whether it's chanting, reading from scripture, worshiping the deity, the form of the Lord, these kinds of activities. And then that will be so helpful to being able to continue to remember the Lord throughout the day. What do you think?
Yeah, let's try it.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
I have a question.
Okay.
What if somebody remembers, thinking of Krishna, but fails to do its duties? What if the results are a failure in doing the duties?
What if in one's worldly duties there's some failure?
Yeah, what if the results are not that what you might expect?
Well, the thing about material life is that time is so cruel that whatever kind of success may be there, whatever type of failure may be there, by the time factor, none of it will remain. Even someone is very, very successful, but then over time they will become old, and if not before that, at death, one will have to lose everything. So the tendency in material life, under the influence of the time factor, is that everything will ultimately result in failure. But if we can culture spiritual life, if we can culture remembrance of Krishna, then that will be to our eternal benefit. That will have, there is never any loss. Krishna speaks like that. By cultivating Krishna consciousness, that will be to our eternal benefit. Is that okay?
I guess so. I was just thinking if it's possible to do something that maybe, for example, might disappoint Krishna in a way that you didn't come to that level, in your activities.
I'm not sure I
How
follow.
does one know when it's good enough, for example, when doing a duty?
Well, if we can have others, the advice of a senior personality, they may be able to help us with that. When it comes to our worldly duties, that we're expected to earnestly try our best, but ultimately the result may not be completely up to us. Sorry, there's another question here.
Haribo. One of the obstacles is hridoy daurbalyam, weakness of the heart. How to fix the heart that it becomes strong to choose Krishna, to have determination during our daily duties, just life is happening, to choose thinking about Krishna and choose activities that, when we're in the ashram, it's fixed for us. We're like children and program is fixed. When we live at home and we're grihastas, we need to actually choose Krishna because we can choose so many things. So how to have this strong heart and determination to actually do what's required?
Yeah, so important. What a good question. How can we get spiritual determination? I think that's what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is praying for by saying, I yearn for the company of that devotee who is completely devoid of all desires for worldly enjoyment or liberation. It's by association that we'll tend to cultivate our determination in life. Like, what's that? There's an English saying, I can tell you who a person is if you show me who their friends are. So, in spiritual life, we always emphasize having good sangha, because by good association, we can develop a greater type of spiritual determination. If conversely, if we'll associate with more materialistic people, we'll tend to pick up that quality too. That's why, it's important when you're, like, metaphorically choosing the channel on your television, it's important which station you kind of stay with, because if you watch a channel that's not spiritual, that's going to tend to affect you, leave an impression. And so for someone that's interested in spiritual life, we recommend that you make the effort to cultivate good association, because in that association you can strengthen your spiritual faith and determination. Maybe one more question? Comment? Reflection? Great.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice class. You mentioned Arjuna and how Arjuna felt seeing his family, his grandfather, cousins, brother. Arjuna was totally devastated to the point that he couldn't speak. His bow slipped from the hand. Total devastation. Then Krishna brings some arguments. First of all, surprised. Why a person like you should act like this? And then Arjuna said, I would rather die myself, be killed myself, than kill these guys. So the Bhagavad Gita is all these great arguments and really good questions and answers. Was there one particular argument that convinced Arjuna? And of course, we all know that it's for us, this Bhagavad Gita. But was there one particular argument or a series of arguments that convinced Arjuna to finally surrender in a formal manner and said, yes, I will do that, what you say?
What an interesting question. Yeah.
It wasn't meant to trip you up, my dear.
I don't think that the Bhagavad Gita is just a series of arguments, but because it's spiritual life, it's kind of not exactly a debate. But Krishna has revealed himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, first Krishna explains how he is the essence of all kinds of wonderful things that we see in the world, that we see in the universe. And then Arjuna asks, can you show me that? And Krishna reveals his universal form, how he embodies the whole universe. That's a pretty strong argument, wouldn't you say?
Pretty convincing.
So if the Supreme Lord stands in front of you and shows you his universal form, and then gives you, it is my opinion that the highest duty is to surrender unto me, I think I would be convinced too. What do you think? Okay, thank you so much. I think we've run out of time. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi.
His Grace Akincana Krishna Prabhu Ki Jai. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for this such a in a simple way you explained that topic. So now we're going to have prasadam. We serve a vegetarian feast here in this room, so all of you can stand up. And today there will be a little bit of an adjustment with the program. I'm not sure, I think I should mention now. At 6 o'clock in this room as well, so we're a little tight in the time. We will serve prasadam and have to make sure at 6 the room is available again. We have a TOVP presentation. So the TOVP is the Temple of Vedic Planetarium. It's a huge temple which is now about to be completed in a few months. One devotee will speak later, he calls it miracle in a making. It's really a miracle, this temple. And it was a desire of Srila Prabhupada that this temple will be established in Mayapur, a holy place in India. And this will go on from 6 till 8. So there will be arati, of course, to the deities, but it will be a silent arati in the sense that there will be no kirtan and dancing. So that's a little bit of maybe for some of you a bad news, but the good news, we have more kirtan at 8 o'clock with Akincana Krishna Prabhu, and I think he will make us dance there again. So you can stay for that, and the japa meditation will be upstairs in the Prabhupada Museum, for those of you who like to learn how to do the mantra meditation on beats at home. Everybody can do. So at 6:15 maybe, 6:15 upstairs. Okay? Yes, next Sunday we have a special festival. It's the Divine Appearance Day of Lord Nrsingadev. That's Krishna appearing as a half man, half lion, and full God. That's going to be the title also of the lecture. And we'll be celebrating here during the Sunday program. And we have Abhishek also? Yeah. What time? 4 o'clock Abhishek, and then 5 o'clock Kirtan lecture.
Then a drama.
Rasa Shairam Prabhu, our event coordinator, he knows everything.
No, at 4 o'clock there will be Abhishek. At 5:30 there will be a small drama by children. It's a surprise. At 6 o'clock there will be a lecture. 7 o'clock Arati, and at 8 o'clock we will serve prasadam. So not at 5 o'clock, but at 8 o'clock.
Okay. Then please, you can all get up. We will now serve prasadam. And if you can kindly take the pillows, we'll put them in the aside.